Hey everyone, this is Exploring Fiction, and today I am bringing you my list of Cobra Kai characters ranked from worst to best. And now this is through the first 4 seasons of the show, and I have 17 characters I would consider main characters enough to put them in this list. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting at number 17, Kyler Park. Now I feel like Kyler is just a one-dimensional character to serve as a constant bully throughout the show. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think his character is very needed and a crucial part of the show to be kind of a constant bully, someone who will be guaranteed to always be on the quote-unquote bad side. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think there's not a lot of variety with his character, and therefore I put him at number 17. At number 16 is Carmen Diaz. Now she acts as the main love interest to Johnny, especially in the later seasons, and I think she's a good side character, but there's just not too much going on with her for her to be justified higher on this list. And so, while I think she's a good character, I just can't put her any higher than 16. At number 15, I have Anthony LaRusso. Now, he was an annoying brat early on in the show, but in season 4 he finally really got something to do. I like the contrasting dynamic of him being the son of Daniel, and while Daniel was always the bullied character, Anthony is the bully, and I hope his feud with Kenny continues. I still found him the more unlikable of the two between him and Kenny. I thought his attempts to apologize were admirable, but still I couldn't root for him enough, even with those attempts to apologize. At number 14, I have Stingray. Now, he's a great comedic character in the show, and he's over the top, but he's still fun when he's on screen, and as long as it stays that way in small doses, he'll continue to be fun. And now, I'm able to feel for him, especially when he's beaten up by Terry Silver late in season 4, and so you feel empathetic towards the character, but he's pretty over the top in a rather over the top sort of show with Cobra Kai. And so I like him a lot. I hope he sticks around. But as it is right now, he's number 14 on the list. At number 13, I have Aiesha Robinson. Now, she's the first girl of Cobra Kai and a great and compelling character in the first 2 seasons. But, unfortunately, her not being in the recent 2 seasons obviously brings her down for me. I loved her character in the first 2 seasons. It was really nice seeing her in season 4. But, honestly, the show moved on without her for season 3 and 4. And I wasn't really all that distraught about it. So that's why she's not higher on the list. At number 12 is Amanda LaRusso. Now, this character is the voice of reason on this show, reminding us in a comedic way how ridiculous all this is if you put it under a microscope. She definitely has a lot of great moments. I love her relationship with Daniel. They just feel like a real couple. And for me, she stood out in season 3. I think some of her best moments were in season 3, and you could really kind of get behind her as an audience view into this world of Cobra Kai. I get her relationship change with Tori in season 4, but I don't know, something to me just felt a little off about it. I still think she's a great character, but season 4 and her interactions with Tori, I don't know if they were rushed or what, but they just weren't up to par for me with the rest of her characterization, and so that's why she's at number 12. At number 11 is Kenny Payne. Now, this character is a great addition from season 4 to the show, and the only reason I don't have him higher is that he's becoming a character I find hard to root for. And I get that's exactly where the writing is taking him, and I think that's great. The writing for him is fantastic, since Cobra Kai is turning him into a darker version of what he could be, and we really just see that unfolding in front of our eyes, especially when Anthony tries to apologize. The writing for this character is great. I think they're doing exactly what they wanted with him, and they're getting the exact reaction from the audience they want from this character, but he's just purposely going down a path where I'm finding it harder and harder to root for him, and so that's why he's where he is on the list. At number 10 is Samantha LaRusso. Now, personally, I would put Sam lower on the list because, in my opinion, her character comes off as pretty unlikable and manipulative throughout a lot of the show. but she's just so involved in so many pivotal plot points, I can't really justify her lower than 10. It really feels like throughout a lot of the show, she has Miguel and Robbie dangling at her fingertips. And though they've both made questionable decisions involving their relationship with her, including Robbie not telling her about Miguel returning the Medal of Honor, it just feels like she's too deceitful and not really upfront in her relationships, especially with those two. And for me, that just drags her down in likability. Also, her feud and kind of egging on of Tori in season 4 just makes you like her even less, because Tori's just trying to get by and she's kind of taking advantage of her. But still, I thought her connection with Johnny in season 4 was cool and a really natural addition to her character as kind of being the rebelling teen against her dad. I thought that was a good way to take it, and so that's why Samantha LaRusso comes in at 10. At number 9 is Demetri. And this character had a huge come up starting in season 3 and really coming on strong in season 4. Seeing this wimpy and whiny kid gain his confidence enough to get involved in fights and stand up for himself was really cool, as he was really just more annoying than anything in the first couple seasons. And seeing him really give Robbie a run for his money in the tournament at the end of season 4 felt like a great step for his character. Because Daniel trying to encourage him to be the hero when he knows he's kind of a wimp, yet still being able to stand up to the big bad Robby Keene, was just great to see. Coming in at number 8 is John Kreese. A great love-to-hate villain, Kreese is sinister and feels like a real threat in the Valley. Now, the only reason he isn't higher up is that sometimes his desire to win the tournament and oversee a Cobra Kai takeover of the Valley seems a bit played out at times, and sometimes it's just not as compelling as it should be. It feels a little bit one note at points throughout the show. However, he's a classic villain. He will always be a classic villain, and Kreese is another great constant villainous character in this show. At number 7 is Tory Nichols. Now, drastically improved by season 4, Tori went from a completely unlikable psycho to a very sympathetic character who became easy to root for by the end of season 4. The writers tried to make her this way before season 4 by giving us glimpses into her messed up home life, but it didn't really work as well, I think. In this season, we finally see her settle down and become humble in a way that she no longer wants to fight with Sam. She just wants to do what's best for her family. The more Sam eggs her on, the easier she becomes to root for. And when she catches Silver paying off the refs in the season 4 finale after she won the championship, it makes me optimistic that she'll be even more compelling going forward. Now, I just can't say enough for how well they improved Tori for me. Like, it just amazes me that the same character that I was just completely abhorred by in season 2 when she attacks Sam in the school, I found her wanting to beat Sam at the end of the tournament in season 4, and that just speaks volumes for the character. Coming in at number 6 is Robby Keene. Now, Robbie seems to be a pretty controversial character in the Cobra Kai fandom, in that either it seems you hate him or you love him, but I love him. Seeing him toe the line between good and bad is something I've personally found really interesting. And especially in moments like the season 2 finale when he kicks Miguel over the railing, of course you feel terrible for Miguel, but I also felt pangs of sympathy for Robbie, because he really was just trying to do the right thing and protect Sam when Tori started the fight and Miguel tried to back up his then girlfriend Tori. In season 3, I was a bit disappointed with the use of Robbie's character, but season 4 was much better, and I really, really love the idea of him trying and failing to be a mentor to a kid like Kenny, because he himself just has too many problems that he accidentally passes on to Kenny, who's really innocent, and then he goes back to Johnny because he's just lost and looking for answers and knowing that he really messed up. That was really compelling to see, and so I really actually do love Robbie, which is why I put him at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I have Miguel Diaz. And I'll be honest, I haven't been the biggest fan of Miguel throughout this show, but there's no denying how great his character is. Almost a mirror image of Daniel, except he's trained by Daniel's high school rival through Cobra Kai. Miguel just has a lot of great moments. Similar to Robbie, I love seeing him be the foil to Johnny's biological son, where he goes back and forth between good guy and kind of a bad guy at times. Still, I felt he was either misused or underused in season 4. I'm not really sure which. So that brings him down a bit for me, but I'll definitely be interested to see where he goes moving forward. At number 4, I have Terry Silver. What a fantastic villain. This show has done him wonders, as it was able to rationalize an absolutely bonkers, yet extremely entertaining, performance from Karate Kid 3, and still make Silver seem believably the same character. Though Silver spends some time in Season 4 being subservient to Kreese, I found myself much more afraid of him than I was of Kreese, as Silver feels more unstable, like he's controlled, but he's ready to snap at any moment. Also, he has less of a personal, deep connection to the rest of the characters than Kreese, so he feels as though he's capable of being even more cruel and insane than Kreese, if that's even possible. So I can't wait to see even more of Terry Silver in Season 5. At number 3 is Daniel LaRusso, the original Karate Kid and still one of the best characters in this universe. This show has done a great job at respecting the character of Daniel, while still giving him new conflicts and ways to grow upon his established character. Through writing to his flaws, they've given us a great continuation of a great original hero, and you don't feel betrayed as an audience member in any way, like Daniel's doing things that he wouldn't normally do. He's still a hothead, he still is defense only, respecting Mr. Miyagi to the utmost, but yet they're finding new ways to make him interesting and keep conflict alive, and that's just great. At number 2 is Johnny Lawrence. Undoubtedly, Johnny Lawrence is the heart and soul of the show. Seeing him as a non-politically correct character in the politically correct landscape of the modern world is already a great premise, but his character goes far beyond that. He's trying to be a father to Miguel while trying to make up for his mistakes with Robbie, and his rivalry with Daniel adds yet another great element. Johnny Lawrence really makes Cobra Kai what it is as a show. Still, there's just one character I love more than Johnny, or any of the other characters on this list. So at number 1, I have Hawk. I might be a little biased putting him at number 1 because he's the character I identify most with, but there's no doubt his character development is off the charts. He starts off as a timid, bullied kid and finds a fake form of confidence behind the mohawked persona of Hawk. I think that this show really illustrates what it's like to try to be someone you're not to gain confidence. Then he becomes an absolute jerk, eventually ending up allied with the very people who bullied him in the first place. His redemption at the end of Season 3 took a while to sink in for me personally, but I loved where Season 4 took him. He got humbled through the loss of his mohawk and retreated back to his timid self without it. However, through Demetri's urging, he joined Miyagi-Do and became their champion as he regained his confidence. This time, though, his confidence came from being himself, not from being someone he wasn't. I thought this was the best and most realistic development in the whole show, and I just love the character of Hawk. That's why he's my number 1 character from Cobra Kai. So guys, thanks for watching this video if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment with your list below. I'd really love to hear it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you're new here. I would love to have you. So guys, I will see you all next time.